I want to become a farmer in the future because agriculture is one of the main subjects in Kenya. So I want to be one of the farmers helping people to get food. Thank you.
My favorite food is chapati and chicken.
My favorite food is rice and chicken.
Welcome to the Corner Brook School. This is Watoto Shambani. Yay!
Today we are learning about chicken farming.
Welcome to our show today. My name is Teacher Rispa from the Corner Brook School, and I'll be taking you through poultry farming in our school. And with us, we have around 60 chicken in our coop just behind me. And a poultry basically is, poultry farming is the keeping of birds. Not only chicken, we have ducks, we have geese, we have quails. And on our side, we choose to do chicken because we have the readily available feeds for them and also the kitchen materials, and we also have a good structure for them. And today I want us to talk about the poultry farming, and I will welcome the learners with any questions for me.
Hi teacher, I have a question. What do chickens eat on a farm?
So basically, chicken eat a lot of things. Apart from the commercial feeds, that is the mashes and the starter mash, the pellets, the crumbs, we have other things that chicken eat in the farm. One, they can feed on caterpillars. So basically, our chicken is improved kienyeji, and you'll find them from time to time scratching on the ground to look for things to eat like caterpillars. We have ants, we have things like the green vegetation. That is, sometimes we hang them on the coops for them to peck on them so that we can reduce the chances of cannibalism. So when you talk of cannibalism, that is where you find chicken pecking on the others. Maybe they don't have enough feeds, so to avoid that, we have to provide enough feeds for them.
Thank you for your answer.
Okay.
I have another question. How often are chickens supposed to be fed?
So okay, depending on their age, chicken are supposed to be fed at least twice in a day. That is in the morning and in the evening. So if maybe it is like our case, the improved kienyeji, we feed them once a day because we are giving them a chance to go outside and peck for themselves. So we can just feed them once, but in the young chicks, when they're still so young, maybe the age of 2 weeks, maybe from the age of 1 day to around 3 weeks, those ones are generally supposed to be fed twice a day. And make sure in your feeding programs, you provide enough and clean water for the chicken because it is equally important for them. Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, Cha.
Hi.
I have a question for you. How many chicken shelters are there?
So on chicken shelters, we have around 5 of them. The first one is the coops. In the coops, we just have a night shelter for the chicks, or the chicken rather, and then the chicken are released during the day to just go outside and scratch for themselves, okay?
Yes.
Then we have something we call the deep litter system. In the deep litter system, again, the chicken are entirely confined in the houses for the whole of their time. So you as the farmer, it's your work to provide the feeds for them in the house. So in these cases of the deep litter system, this is where you're going to find things like the patches and the roosts. Now the patches and the roosts are for the purpose of the chicken to patch on and for exercising. Remember, these chicken are not going outside during the day, so there's no limited time for them to exercise. So you have to provide those roosts and patches for them to exercise during the day. Then the other one is called the battery cage system. So on the battery cage, this one is so much ideal for rearing the layers type of chicken. This is because the chicken are not going to come into contact with the eggs, because now it is made in a slanting manner in such a way that once the chicken lays, the egg is going to roll on the outside. So we are not going to have the problems of cannibalism whereby the chicken might end up eating their eggs because they're not completely coming into contact with the eggs. And also another structure is called the fold system. Now the fold system we have movable structures that are formed, and you can move them from one place to another daily, on a daily basis. So once the chicken are fed on maybe the green vegetation in that area for that day, after some time you can move it to a totally new place with more vegetation for them to feed on. Yes.
Thank you for that answer. I have another question. How do you keep chickens safe from predators?
So on the side of keeping them safe from predators, for example, when you look at our coop just behind me, we have a wire mesh around it. So this one is going to basically keep the predators away from getting into the poultry house. Yes. Number 2 is you can make sure that you construct your structure close to where the farmhouse is. So when you talk of a farmhouse, we mean the place where the farmer and the family lives, so that there is no chances of predators just invading in the chicken houses. Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, Charispa. I also have a question.
Okay, go on.
How often do chickens lay eggs?
So how often do chicken lay eggs? No, when it comes to laying of chicken, basically a chicken is supposed to lay 1 egg per day. This is because the process of egg formation is going to take 24 hours. So that means once it lays right now, it will take another 24 hours for it to produce another egg. So it is going to have 1 egg per day.
Oh, I also have another question. What do you do to the eggs once they are laid?
So once the eggs are laid, make sure you collect them immediately. This is because, for example, if you're using a structure like the folds, maybe the chicken might end up pecking on the eggs and cracking them, and that will lead to maybe some spoilage of the eggs. So make sure immediately the eggs are laid, you collect them and keep them safe, preferably in egg trays.
Oh, thank you for that answer.
You're welcome.
Hi, Charispa. I have a question for you. How do you tell the difference between a rooster and a chicken?
So the difference between a rooster and a chicken is the rooster is a timber structures that we put in the poultry houses for them to exercise, and a hen is basically the bird that we keep maybe for laying eggs or for the production of meat, for the purpose of production of meat.
Thank you for that, but I have another question. What do baby chickens or chicks eat?
Okay, basically the baby chickens are the chicks, we all know that. So when we're feeding the baby chickens, we are supposed to feed them on starter mashes before allowing them to go outside and peck on their own. Remember, they are too young, so you have to start feeding them with very friendly meals like the starter mashes.
Hi, Charispa.
Hi.
I have a question.
Go on.
How long does it take for chicks to become adult chickens?
For chicks to become adult chicken, it basically takes around 4 to 12 weeks, between 4 to 12 weeks. Now that one is an ideal chicken. Okay, now you can now graduate it from giving the starter mashes, give the growers mashes or the layers mashes, depending on the type of chicken you're rearing. Yes.
Thank you for that. I have another question.
Go on.
Do chickens need vaccination or special care?
Yes, they do need vaccination and special care. This is because once you vaccinate the chicken, it means you are preventing them from contracting any diseases. So at the very tender age, when they're still 1 day old, a week old, you have to do vaccination from various diseases, and such diseases are the likes of Newcastle disease. So we have coccidiosis. Now for the coccidiosis, we are going to give a vaccination that we call coccidiostat. Now that one is going to basically prevent it from contracting the coccidiosis disease as it grows. So yes, they need special care and vaccination.
Thank you for that.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hi, Charispa.
Hi.
I have a question. Do you clean the chicken coop?
It is very important to clean the chicken coop on a daily basis, weekly basis. It is very important. This is because cleaning the chicken coop is going to prevent them from any diseases and also parasites. Once we clean them, again we have to do what we call dusting. Dusting is where we use appropriate insecticides to spray, or rather to apply on the structures to make sure if there are any present parasites, they are killed so they cannot infect our chicken.
Thank you for that, but I have another question.
Go on.
How do you handle the chicken without hurting it?
How do you handle? Okay, on handling, you remember in class we talked about humane handling of animals? Yes, so when we are handling a chicken, you have to hold it with your one hand is supposed to hold the wings at the back, the other hand is going to hold the body. By that, you're not going to hurt that chicken. So if it is vaccination that you want to give them, you can comfortably do that without hurting that chicken. Okay? Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Travis.
Hi, Travis.
I have a question. Can chickens recognize their owners?
They do. If there is an animal with good memory, is a chicken. So once they get used to their owners, they will automatically recognize them. Okay, basically there's that person who gives them feeds, and there is that time that they feed the chicken. So at that moment when these chickens see the owner, they will know automatically it is time for feeding. So yes, they can recognize their owners.
Thank you for that. I have another question.
Go on.
How can you keep chickens warm in cool weathers, and how can you keep them cool in hot weathers?
So in cool weathers, we usually provide what we call litter. Litter is maybe provision of sawdust in the coop of the animal. So we can use either sawdust, we can use green grass, we can use newspaper, especially when the chicks are still a day or a week old, we prefer to use the newspapers. The newspapers is important at that time because we can still spread some feeds on them. So as they learn to feed, again, these newspapers are keeping them warm, okay? Then we can also use the sawdust. The sawdust is going to be able to absorb their droppings and also keep the house warm. We can as well use dry grass, but make sure after some time you change these droppings, okay? Because now these beddings are going to accumulate with droppings, and if you leave them to stay for a long time, they will form what we call caking. Caking is where they combine with the droppings, and then they cannot provide warmth anymore. Okay, so you're supposed to remove them and bring new ones. That's where we are going to keep them warm during the cold season. When it is very hot, we are supposed to provide them with enough water, and we shade our coops like ours over here. So when it is very hot, our chicken, in as much as they're outside, they're not going to suffer the agony of too much sun because we've provided a shade for them. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Cha.
Hi, Victor.
Can chickens be able to stay along with other animals in the farm?
They can. The reason is chickens sometimes, depending on the structures that you've put up for them, they can be able to comfortably cope with the other animals. But don't keep them in the same structure. Make sure the structure for the chicken is aside, that one for the cows is aside, that one for the goats is aside, but they can comfortably cope around with the other farm animals.
Thank you. I have another question. Can chickens be able to adapt to other weather conditions, let's say like sunny or coolness? Can they be able to adapt?
They are able to adapt because remember, as a farmer, you also have to take care of that, okay? Like I've explained the previous question, I said when it is hot, we can be able to give some shade for them. When it is cold, we provide some litter for them so they can be able to cope with them. But sometimes you get to find, especially when it is very cold, there are some diseases that our chicken can contract. So what do? When they're still very young, we vaccinate them against those diseases because we don't know when and where and how the weather is going to change, so they can be able to cope only if they are well vaccinated and taken care of.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome.
Hi, Madam Rispa.
Hi, Nicole.
I have a question.
Go on.
How do you collect eggs from a coop?
Okay, collection is basically you can do it individually. It's always advisable you do it individually because now it is you, the farmer, who is going to tell whether an egg is cracked or it is in good condition. So the ones that are cracked, you can keep them aside, and the ones that are not cracked, you have them in the trays.
I was also wondering, what do chickens do at night?
Chicken sleep at night.
Thank
They don't. Okay, you will from time to time you will find that chicken are most active during the day, so feeding, exercising and stuff, but not during the night. They also need some rest. Remember, they have been out all day exercising and looking for food, so yeah, they need some rest at night.
Thank you for your answer.
You're welcome.
Hello, Madam Rispa.
Hello, Michelle.
So I have this question.
Go on.
Why do chicken peck the ground?
They basically peck the ground to look for food. and also to it will help them to supplement what we give them in the coops. Remember, like our case here, we are having the improved kienyeji. So the improved kienyeji, we don't have to confine them completely in their coops. Sometimes we have them outside, and at around 3 p.m. we are going to have them outside up to around 6 p.m. when they get back to their coops. So from time to time, you'll find them scratching down on the floor to make sure that they look for the feeds to supplement what we have already given them.
Okay, thank you. So I have another question. How can you tell that if a chicken is sick?
So there are various symptoms you're going to find in the body of a chicken for you to know that it is sick. Sometimes you'll find that it is having very loose stool. That is diarrhea, and then you might find it's having some discharges on the nose. You might find that it is generally has no appetite, it is not feeding properly, it is just confined somewhere, it is just not an active animal. You'll be able to tell this animal is not okay.
I have an inquiry. Do chickens have, let's say, some different facts? Let's say facts like for human beings, facts like do chickens have facts?
Clearly they do. One fact about chicken is that they bathe as they roll themselves on the dirt. I don't know if you've seen them rolling sometimes, and they cover themselves with a lot of dust. So that is a way of them bathing. Another thing is that they usually have a very distinct color vision. They can be able to distinct colors, and also they communicate with the chicks when the chicks are still inside the shell. Remember, during incubation, the egg is going to change from the embryo to a chick, and then it will burst out as a grown chick. Okay, so at that time, the mother chicken can be able to communicate with the chicks inside the egg. Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hi, Charispa.
Hi, Travis.
I have another question.
Ask.
What is the life cycle of a chicken from egg to adult?
So usually we begin with the egg, we get to embryo, and then we get to cockerel or pullet, and then we get to a hen, a grown hen now. Now, which will be, okay, from the embryo to a egg, embryo, chick, and then we go to either a cockerel or a hen, depending whether it is a male or a female, because a male will call it a cockerel and then a female will call it a hen. Yeah. Thank you so much for your questions, and I hope you've learned something from this. It has been quite an interactive session, and we're going on a commercial break, and then once you come back, I'll show you how I do it in my coop at the back. Thank you so much. So kids, welcome back to our session. Before we went on a break, I had promised to bring you to where our chicken usually stay, that is our coops. And you can see from the inside, allow me open this one. We have our chicken in the inside. So basically our chicken coop is divided into 4 areas, whereby each portion is holding a number of chicken depending on their sizes. So you can find, like in this case, we have like 6 of them in this coop. And I remember I was explaining something about handling chicken. So I'm going to show you how we can handle a chicken without hurting it. So I said that when we are handling chicken, we are supposed to use our left hand and hold the wings, and then the other hand can hold the other part of the body. So this way you are going to be able to check whether our chicken has some parasites on the body. You can be able to vaccinate if you want to give some vaccination, and this way you're not going to hurt this chicken. It is comfortably held. That's why we're supposed to use our left hand to hold our wings. If you're left-handed, you can use your right hand to hold the wings, and then the other hand is going to hold the other part of the body. Are we there? Yes, and then we have our feeders, and the feeders is where we put our feeds. We said we are supposed to feed our chicken 2 times a day, and we also provide for them clean water. And this clean water, sometimes you might be wanting to add some vitamins in this water. So it is always advisable to give these vitamins inside the water. So you mix the water with the vitamins, so that way the chicken are going to be able to feed on that water appropriately. Are we together? Then now we have the other coops. And these other coops, like I said, they are holding different numbers. So you can come on this side and check. So like this one, you're going to find it is a bit bigger. Just come. And it is having, this side. Where is that one? It is having around, come on this side, Jabet, around 10 of them, because this one you're going to find that it is bigger than the other one that you have already checked. Now the reason as to why we cannot be able to really stand upright, I talked about preventing predators, and one way I said we can have wire meshes around the coop of the animals, because now in this case there are no predators that are going to be able to get inside our coop, because we have really protected it using the wire mesh. Are we there? Yes. And then we said that chicken usually recognize their owners. So most of the time I'm usually here, and that's why you can see they are really coming close to the door once I open the coop. Are we there? Yes. So that is it. And then we have, maybe someone might be wondering, what do we do with the manure, the chicken manure? So like you can see, we have a shamba, and we usually collect this manure and we use it in our shamba for planting. So when you look down here, we have not collected it in like 2 weeks. So that means it is supposed to be collected either today or tomorrow, and then we will heap it out there, and then we can be fetching it from there and taking it to the shamba, because it is highly nutritive to the crops. Okay. Then we usually also have the egg collection. Now, like in our case here, I said the most appropriate system to rear layers is the battery cage, but in our case we are using the coops. Now this one, we are supposed to be very keen on them, especially after the hens lay. We must stick around and always keep checking whether there are eggs inside the coops. This will prevent them from feeding on their eggs. Are we together? Yes. So we are supposed to collect them more oftenly to make sure that we don't expose them to chances of this chicken feeding on them. Are we there? Yes. So basically that is it on our poultry farming. And also I talk something about cleaning. So you're supposed to make sure that cleaning is done on at least a weekly basis. So we use something we call the disinfectant to disinfect the coops, to make sure if there are any parasites that are present. You see, in the in between the timbers, you should always make sure that it is completely clean. That's why you're supposed to use the disinfectants to spray them inside, so that if there are any parasites present, they are not going to infect our chicken. So I'm hoping that this is going to be applied at our homes, because we know that every one of us love chicken. Is that true? Yes. Especially Victor. Yes. So make sure that what we have learned today is going to be used at our homes. Let's go and educate our parents about poultry farming. Are we together? Yes. And with that, maybe we can call it a session. Thank you for being attentive. It has been an interactive session, and I hope that you're going to put this into practice. Thank you so much.